we're an omni-channel customer loyalty platform that utilizes gamification to help increase customer engagement and, essentially help organizations to increase customer purchase frequency, average customer purchase size, as well as collect data and analytics related to essentially customer behavior, et cetera, so that you can continually personalize essentially the customer experience for your individual customers.
Nice. So by gamification, by loyalty programs, I'm betting you're saying spend X dollars and you level up to the next level and you get X and stuff like that. So you kind of turn the purchasing process into a game. Am I right?
On a very basic level.
Yeah. And, I didn't mean like, that's it.
Right. And when you think of like gamification, another thing that's sort of important to sort of consider as well is gamification isn't like Mario. It's taking aspects that maybe you find within Mario and applying it in a way that makes sense in, like, for example, a retail environment. And so, like in the case of, like, let's say your typical loyalty program, right? You typically receive points based on purchases that you make. And so that would be like an example of gamification, is that point aspect.
Nice. So what's an example? What's a situation? What's something that you guys have done with a client of yours where you walk through the whole process with them?
In what sense?
Can you customize a different type of game or a different type of loyalty program per customer is basically what I'm saying, or per client in your case?
Yeah, it depends on obviously like the type of business, right? And we also work with B2B organizations, not just B2C organizations. And so for B2B, there are similarities as, to a B2B or B2C, loyalty program. But, you want to sort of take it from a different approach, right? Because for B2C, for example, it's really, a lot of it is sort of about getting the customer back through your door and making that repeat purchase. But for B2B situations, oftentimes it's sort of a recurring revenue type of sort of relationship, right? You're typically paying like a monthly service fee. So in those cases, what we want to do is actually, rather than just sort of get the customer necessarily, to make a repeat purchase, we're wanting to incentivize the customer to complete actions that keep them engaged with your business, right? So maybe it's you just utilizing your service in general. So it's not a situation like, you are with the gym where it's like you're paying it for like 12 months down the road, and then you realize that you're not actually utilizing it, so you just cancel, right? And so that's really, when we look at B2B organizations, that's really more of the approach that we want to take. B2C, obviously, it's going to be about getting your customer back in through the door, but then also obviously making sure that we can sort of collect data and understand, like, okay, what is getting this customer to come back and make a purchase, right? So in terms of like the way we approach an individual customer's account, it's going to depend on, or their, say, like business process or organization, it's going to really depend on their individual business process, right? And so, for example, like, and we'll also take into account what are instances that they struggle with, as well as what, for example, what tools currently exist within their technology stack. Because one thing that organizations often have trouble with is sort of building a full customer profile, because maybe you have like two channels, like retail, like say like a physical brick and mortar channel, as well as an e-commerce channel. And oftentimes those two channels don't communicate at all. And it's actually sort of a very odd issue to sort of still be having, even though it's very commonplace, because, oftentimes, I mean, the tools do exist that will allow you to sort of communicate between both channels. But, as a consumer, oftentimes, like, I'll buy sort of, like, for example, I purchase a lot of items from Uniqlo, right, in the city. And sometimes I'll buy offline, and sometimes I'll buy, in store, depending on where I am and what's going on. And so how do you really know how I want to behave as a customer if you don't sort of see what my two interactions between both those channels are, right?
Wow, okay. That was deep. So what's like a case study? What's an example of, like, we did one for this client and it turned out amazing, and this helped, and this was the number that they got and all that fun stuff. Like, what's the one that you always point to and go, yeah, that went perfect?
So I can't really give out like information about, for example, like number, like very like specifics or anything like that, because we often, for most cases, we sign NDAs and stuff like that. So I can't really, unfortunately. I guess that's a good question. Let me think about it. Let's jump to another question, and then
all right. We move on. So so obviously, a full suite of multiple different stuff that you guys have going on there. What's coming in the pipeline? What's a new feature, a new product that you guys are thinking about coming out with in the coming months, or at least this year?
Sure. One thing that we're actually doing that I think is going to be sort of, extremely advantageous for, especially like a lot of retailers, is one thing that we're going to be taking is a lot of these sort of core functionalities within our platform and applying it to, help retailers get a better ROI from their internal employees, right? And so we're going to be utilizing a lot of like the gamified functionalities, et cetera, and our ability sort of to collect data and also incentivize certain actions and apply it, once again internally to get, for example, like employees of yours to sort of repeat favorable actions, like for example, maybe it's trying to push like a certain product line within the organization, or even completing actions, maybe like for example, like like something like cleaning up the store or something at the end of the day, right? Things that you sort of want to occur, and then but using also, once again, going back to the gamified functionalities, we can also use things like leaderboards where we can create sort of almost like friendly competition to help sort of push people towards the ultimate goal, right? So, for example, like I get some sort of reward at the end if I sell the most of this type of product, or this particular product line that the retailer is pushing or has just come out with. And at the end of the sort of like 3-month period or however long you want to look, you can sort of see where I sit compared to sort of my coworkers, and I can receive a benefit for it, right? And so it makes me feel good because I've achieved something, but also helps the organization overall because, typically they would have generated more revenue in this instance, right?
So what type of, I know every company is different, every product, every service, everything is different, everything is run differently, but what, on more of a general aspect, what are some of the better incentives or reward set, like programs or leveling that you guys have that you've seen really works the best?
Yeah, so when it comes to rewards, you're going to want to offer a product or a service that your company already offers. Or it has to be relevant if you're, for example, a B2B organization. It has to be relevant for your type of business, right? Everyone wants to offer, like we often see companies be like, okay, like let's offer like Starbucks gift cards. And as much as I love coffee, it like typically does not make sense. It doesn't how does that benefit you? It benefits Starbucks, if anything, right? Yeah. And because in the end, like while you want to make your customers feel good, in the end, it's a customer loyalty program is a marketing tool, right? And so you should treat it as one. And so, what you want to do is take, like, for example, either new products you're offering, or actually oftentimes you want to take like your best selling products and utilize it as like almost like the dangling carrot that someone can sort of chase to then receive, right? Because if that's your main money maker, then it's a popular product. People are going to want to receive it as a gift, right? And so that's sort of how you would like to utilize it. But you can also utilize gifts as a way to test potentially new product lines that you want to offer, because then you can sort of see if you have multiple gifts that you're going to offer, you can see what items people are selecting and then make sort of determinations based on that. But also, for example, another thing that you can do is, not only, for example, utilizing like specific gifts or something that you offer internally, which would come at, say, the biggest, or I guess it would be the lowest cost item for you to offer as a company, but you could also utilize gift functionalities as a way to bring additional value to partnerships that you have. So if you're, like oftentimes we work with, you want to talk about like a business example that we've found has been successful, but, for example, some of our hotel clients, right? They'll offer, benefits for various like types of like organizations that they've partnered with in the area, right? So if you're in a resort town, you can help incentivize people to stay at your hotel and then drive traffic to a business that you're a partner with by offering their services through your loyalty program.
Okay. So you guys definitely work with a ton of different types of businesses. There's definitely, you know, a lot of different ways that you can use an incentive program. What are some of the businesses you see that work the best with SailPlay?
Yeah, so if you're like a typical, say like, maybe typical is not the right word, but if you're a retailer, usually, or in any type of sort of business, organizations that typically will have higher sort of return purchase frequencies will typically be a better type of business, right? In terms of like loyalty, because you're going to see a lot of like sort of microtransactions that occur over and over again, which will help influence long-term behavior. So, you know, like, for example, a gas company, right? If you're a gas station, well, you know, that's something that you know someone's going to purchase at least once a week, right?
Yeah.
And so it's easier to influence their behavior over a longer period of time. Restaurants work really well because, you know, usually if you find a restaurant you like, you're going to go there at least once a week, right? Mm-hmm. And same thing in terms of retail. If it's something where you're going to be making multiple types of purchases over, you know, say like a year-long period, it's a great type of business. So like oftentimes, like for example, like jewelry companies where maybe I'll purchase from them once a year wouldn't be the best fit, but you know, like an organization that sells like basics, that would be like the perfect type of company.
So like frequently bought stuff, or not frequently bought, like frequent buyers. So people that are purchasing pretty often. Okay, that's pretty cool. Makes sense. So I always love to keep these really short and sweet and quick and to the point. Is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that we covered today? Something, give some closing remarks about SailPlay. Let us know where everyone can find you.
Yeah, I mean, you can find us at SailPlay.com. You can also reach out to our sales email, which is, you know, sales@SailPlay.com if you have any, you know, questions or inquiries, you know, and we just, we'd be more than happy to help if you have any questions. Even, you know, if you weren't going to be a client of ours, but if you have any questions related to like customer loyalty or customer retention or data collection, dynamic customer segmentation, any of that, obviously we'd be more than happy to answer it. And I do love that you're wearing the UCF hat right now. I'm very happy about that.
Are you a Knight?
Yeah, you remember we talked about
it. Oh, yeah, we talked about it because I forgot about that.
Yeah,
this was unplanned, I promise. I didn't go, oh, I got to wear that. That's funny. I totally forgot about that. All right, well, appreciate it, Dave. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to put this up. This will be up on our YouTube and our website and all that fun stuff too. So obviously, if anyone has any questions ever, feel free to just comment wherever it is you're watching this. Either myself or Dave will help you out, and we'll make sure to get you guys an answer. Thank you so much, Dave. Good talking to you. Go Knights, and I'll talk to you again. All right, buddy?
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Bye.